Has anybody else started to feel like cheating is kinda inevitable nowadays? I apologize in advance if this is a long post. I have a lot on my mind lol, but I also want to hear other people's perspectives on this. Maybe it'll help make me and maybe some other people to be a little less pessimistic about relationships, or maybe it'll just help me learn to accept that cheating might just be inevitable now. Anyway, I'm a 23 years old female, so I've never been in a relationship where phones and social media weren't a thing. I lived a good chunk of my adolescence without it, but when I started dating at 17, social media was definitely a thing. Back then it was basically just a tool for my first boyfriend to cheat on me, and I remembered being so insecure about basically everything he posted or liked because I had a gut feeling he was cheating, which turned out to be right lol. And this was before social media was even as big as it is now. Maybe a quarter to a half of the people I know had Facebook or Twitter or Instagram back then. Now maybe 1% of the people I know don't have at least one social media account, especially Instagram. Anyway, flash forward to my second and most recent relationship from 1921, and again I had the same issues with social media but amplified because the platforms had just basically multiplied and gotten bigger and bigger. My second boyfriend never technically cheated on me through social media as far as I know, but there were a few times when he had openly flirted and I had to talk to him about how it made me feel insecure. And I noticed him messaging other women a lot. He owned a business though, so he would always claim it was for business, but it always felt like he was just using his business as an excuse to message pretty girls. But he did end up cheating on me at least once that I know of. Now, 2 years later, we occasionally speak and he has told me that he isn't built for monogamy and he could never just have one woman. He's in an open relationship now, his girl is only with him but he sleeps with many other women, which is weird to me, but and from how Hess always acted and still acts, I think Hess a S-time addict, so he probably did cheat on me more than I know. And now at 23, I've been single almost 2 years. I've dated on and off trying to find someone worth actually settling down with, but it seems every time I meet someone we spend about a week a month at most acting like we're going to be together, and then it fizzles out or I find out the guy has been talking to and messing around with other women, so I end it. It seems like nobody has the attention span for a long-lasting relationship because people are so accessible now, and if you keep looking you'll just keep finding someone better and better, at least looks wise. But what I've been thinking lately is that with social media and Tinder and other sites like that, it's starting to seem like cheating is something we're just going to have to deal with unless we get really lucky. My parents have been together since they were 15 and they're now in their late 50s and still together. So I was taught my whole life the value of loyalty and love, so it hurts me a lot and feels very uncomfortable when trying to accept this. The logical part of me says the sooner I get over my intense negative emotional response to cheating, the better off I'll be. Not sure if this is healthy, but I'm dancing around the idea that maybe if you find someone you really connect with and you both really like or love each other, but one of you messes up, has a one-time physical encounter with someone else, maybe it's forgivable? As long as it's not emotional or romantic and they still come home to you and continues to build with you and they used protection and made sure not to bring any diseases back to you and don't make what happened obvious to other people to embarrass you, maybe it would be something that's manageable? But then Terry's the romantic part of me that wants to believe when I meet the right man for me, he'll be perfect and he'll only have eyes for me and he'll be totally loyal and faithful. But the realistic and logical part of me again says that with social media and just how society and mainstream media is nowadays, it's very rare if not impossible to find that. Also, even if I was the most attractive woman in the world, far from it lol, that wouldn't mean all the other women aren't attractive, and just because you're with someone doesn't mean you'll never be attracted to anyone else again. With mainstream music and media, it almost seems to normalize men cheating on their women, and makes it seem like if the woman is the right one she'll move past it and still be with you. So I've been thinking maybe if a man is the right one for me, maybe he'll slip up once or twice, but at the end of the day he'll be the only one he has an actual emotional and romantic connection to, and it'll be the one he comes home to and builds with, even if he happened to have meaningless safe time with other women once or a few times. This definitely triggers some intense feelings at first, but as I think about it more and more, it seems like the only way to have a peaceful relationship nowadays is to think this way. But maybe hopefully I'm just damaged from my past relationships and this isn't how the world is, and real loyal love is still everywhere. I just have these pessimistic sunglasses stuck on my eyes. But let me know what you think, please. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1. I wouldn't say you are pessimistic, but more like realistic. It's important to recognize the world we live in and take for what is. You're still young, don't focus too much on cheating. If you do, it just make you come across to your future boyfriend as an insecure girlfriend. Nobody wants to be in a relationship with insecure person. Redditor 2. In my own experience, cheating was far more common the younger I was. I personally don't have social media with the exception of Reddit, which I do not have on my phone, and rarely use anymore. I used to have Facebook and Instagram, but ultimately I found it was bad for my mental health. Mainstream media and social media push a lot of false rhetoric. The world has a lot of nasty, itty people in it, and social media tends to not only highlight them, but it brings it out in them. I'm way better personally without it. For reference, I'm in my 30s. As I grew older every year, I'd have experiences which showed me what is truly important in my life. Things become easier to identify. I used to date people primarily for companionship, mutual interests, and time. Now I date people because they share the same ideals and views of the world, and make me feel understood and included in their life, and add a sense of fulfillment to my life. The tough part when you're younger is a metric shitload of people don't know what they want or need, likely including yourself, and you'll get pulled through the weeds because of it. I got ducked over, and I'm sure I ducked over other people because of it too. Sounds like your ex found out he wants to be in open relationships, which is just fine for him so long as he's honest with himself and others. It didn't line up with what you want, monogamy, and that's okay. What isn't okay is the cheating, lying. You're right to move on. Cheating doesn't destroy someone's relationship because someone wants to have time with someone else. It destroys it because they intentionally put their temporary pleasure before potentially permanent damage to their partner, and then they lie about it. Trust is hard to build, and it's harder every time it gets broken. We create an unwritten contract with someone when we discuss our feelings and agree to a relationship. When someone breaches that contract, it hurts. If you don't foster trust, you won't have trust. Finding a partner who is emotionally mature and wishes to communicate openly on the level you do is difficult, but you'll find that person. My partner and I communicate openly, no matter how idiot can be, even if someone's feelings might get hurt. That doesn't mean we don't tactfully approach things with love and care. After all, we want to solve the problem, not attack the person. We also compromise on our wants and needs. I choose to not have time with other people because I love her and it'd make her upset, and she does the same. Don't compromise. Redditor 3. Sometimes I feel that way, but I don't believe it is so. Redditor 4. You may be correct. I think that humans are not basically monogamous. It has been forced upon us by society. Also, women cheat too. From what I have seen of the stats, the numbers are much the same for men and women at your age. However, I think that it may also be a phase of your life. You are still very young, and so are the men you are dating. This is a time for experiencing what the world has to offer. That is what they are doing. Settling down with one person may come later. It may also be that we are witnessing the beginning of change in society where monogamy is not as valued as it once was. Redditor 5. My opinion is that it all depends. You can still find monogamous loyal relationships, but they are not so easy to find that you're not going to encounter cheating. People say non-monogamous and open relationships are on the rise, and that's true. But I don't believe that humans aren't naturally monogamous. A lot of people aren't, but feelings dictate this more than anything, and monogamy is very much a natural thing too. It's all about preference and maturity. It's about not settling, not dealing with what doesn't work for you. Relationships and monogamy are work, it will not just fall into your lap. At 23, people are not in a state for settling down generally. There are exceptions, of course, but most people aren't ready for it. Don't lament the fact that you have been through several relationships. That's not a shameful thing. You need this experience because when you do find the person that works for you, trust me, you will know, and there won't be a damn shred of doubt, there won't be any wondering. It's not easy, but it is worth it in my opinion.